Welcome to the lecture, Introductions, Parenthetical Asides, Lists, and Conclusions. These are the four primary uses of commas, and it really is just that simple. So let's look at each of these instances individually. First, there's the introduction. Use a comma to separate a sentence introduction from the body of the sentence. For example, in this lecture, comma, I'll explain how to use commas. Here you can see that the introduction in this lecture is being separated from the body of the sentence, I'll explain how to use commas. Other instances would be, first, comma, remove the lug nuts. For example, comma, try this. So each of these introductory statements is separated from the body of the sentence by a comma. The next instance is parenthetical asides. Use a pair of commas to enclose an aside in the middle of the sentence. Asides would include little bits of information that you insert into the sentence to clarify. Let's take a look at an example. The student, who was new to writing, soon caught on to using punctuation. Who is new to writing is a little parenthetical aside, and you use commas to separate it from the body of the sentence. Next, there's lists. Use a comma to separate elements in a list. For example, I want 2 Big Macs, comma, fries, comma, a McFlurry, and a Coke. Notice that in this example, I didn't use a comma to separate the second from the last and the last comma that have an and. This is known as the Oxford comma, and I'll be discussing it in the next lecture. The final example is conclusions. Use a comma to separate a sentence conclusion from the body of the sentence. This is much like a sentence introduction, except it's at the end of a sentence. Let's look at an example. This course is great, comma, isn't it? You're getting good at punctuation, comma, right? So these little conclusion structures are separated from the body of the sentence by a comma. Then there's special dialogue usages of commas. See the later section on punctuating dialogue for the special dialogue usages of the comma. And with that, we've covered the use of the comma. Yes, it really is that simple. In the next lecture, we're going to talk about the Oxford comma, the comma before the and at the end of a list. I'll see you there.